Morning.
I haven't done an Epstein video in a long time. I want to read this article by Fox News. Vance, Bondi, Patel to huddle. Vice President JD Vance's residence for a meeting amid Epstein fallout. You know, recently, the director of the FBI, Cash Patel, and uh, Dan Beningo, recently came out and said that, oh, well, um, Epstein really did kill himself. So I'm like, well, that's a 180, right? Or a 360, because not too long ago, both of them were saying that there was indeed a conspiracy involving Jeffrey Epstein's death. Now that uh, Patel's the director and the FBI and Dan Benigo is the deputy director of the FBI, well, what happened? Well, according to them, they saw all the evidence and said that, yeah, he killed himself. And they got a lot of criticisms because a lot of the conspiracy theories surrounding Epstein are coming from the conservative party, but the Democrats are chiming in. One thing they have something in common. Let's read the article. It says Vice President JD Vance is hosting senior Trump administration officials at his residence, Washington, D.C., for dinner on Wednesday evening to discuss, among other things, how the administration should handle the ongoing Epstein fallout and move forward, Fox News has learned. Ghislaine Maxwell is serving 20 years, now moved to a minimum security prison. Why the move? Well, there wasn't an official reason really given, but if you ask me, remember, she has a lot of dirt on a lot of people, and she's still alive. Now, she should have gotten life without the possibility of parole. The crimes are egregious, but she got 20 years. I think that after Epstein's death, she ain't going to be too quick to name names because she's in an enclosed environment where they can easily kill her. Say, listen, you'll do the 20, but you'll get out. You'll be an old 70-some-year-old woman, but at least you have some years left. Look at Epstein in the ground, rotten. Vance invited U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi, the FBI Director Cash Patel, and Deputy Attorney General Todd oh my God, what a crew, to dinner at the sprawling 12-acre presidential residence in Northwest Washington. White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles is also expected to be in attendance, according to sources familiar. Now, listen, this is a global sex trafficking espionage ring headed by the Israeli Mossad. Do you think for 1 second that the Trump administration, who has admitted handing over declassified files to TikTokers and YouTube personalities such as Libs for TikTok and DJ Drano, do you really think at any point that they're going to be serious about handling this investigation? Ladies and gentlemen, Trump is involved in it. You really, you really think he's going to be, open to an investigation? Even let's just say if Trump wasn't involved, that Clinton's involved or William, Prince William, Trump still has connections there. Powerful people protect powerful people unless it's too obvious that the cover up is too obvious. Someone has to fall on the knife. News of the dinner was first reported by CNN. Comes after weeks of unsuccessful attempts by senior Trump officials to quell mounting public pressure to release more information related to the Epstein investigation. They gave it to TikTok influencers. Underscoring the sticking power of the Epstein scandal, including among Trump supporters who have been some of the leading voices demanding the release of additional information. If you were serious about an investigation, you would actually involve law teams with the victims of Epstein's and Ghislaine Maxwell's crimes. You would involve law enforcement officials, former congressional officials that had no near distance to Epstein whatsoever. not the people that were close to him, for the fact that they can't conduct an honest investigation. News of the dinner was first reported by CNN and comes after weeks of unsuccessful attempts by senior Trump officials to quell mounting public pressure to release more information related to the Epstein investigation, underscoring the sticking power of the Epstein scandal, including among Trump supporters who have been some of the leading voices demanding the release of additional information. Spokesman for Vance disputed the CNN report in question, which he described to Fox News as pure fiction. There never was a supposed meeting scheduled at the vice president's residence to discuss Epstein's strategy, William Martin, Vance's communications director, said in a statement. Two well-placed sources in the administration subsequently confirmed to Fox News that the dinner at the vice president's residence is indeed taking place. They said that the dinner, while now focused entirely on the Epstein fallout, will be one of the topics they plan to discuss. The Justice Department and the White House have also struggled to coordinate their messaging on the ongoing fallout from the Epstein scandal, following the release of an unsigned July 7th memo that they said they did not plan to release additional information about the investigation. So there you have it. Isn't it amazing that Department of Justice officials who are supposed to have no real connection to the president have a direct line to the president? So this way the president can influence the Department of Justice not to investigate him or anybody else that's connected to him involved with this sex trafficking scandal, a scandal that is international, a scandal that is involving the one stigma that is worse than mass murder, which is child pedophilia or child abuse. So there's way too many people that have a direct involvement and indirect involvement with potential suspects in this case. Most recently, the White House and Department of Justice have been at odds over whether to release an audio file and transcript from Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche's interview with Epstein associate Ghislaine Maxwell late last month. Senior administration officials confirmed because they probably spoke about certain individuals and they don't want those individuals to be known to the public. Why? Because they have not prosecuted Epstein because he's dead and Maxwell's doing 20 years. But if Dan Beningo and Cash Patel said that Epstein committed suicide and that Maxwell has no connection to Epstein, which some conservative circles are already saying it, that Maxwell is innocent, well, then what's she doing in jail for? How was she found guilty of abuse of children and sex trafficking if there were no children to abuse and traffic? These people don't think with their heads. It is unclear how long the audio footage and transcripts from the interviews between Blanche's interview with Maxwell are, but they probably lasted for the entirety of the duration. But they do exist. Fox News Digital reported yesterday, and discussions remain underway today, whether involving and when to release a transcript, which are probably going to be heavily redacted. Fox News Digital reported yesterday that Department of Justice officials have both the audio and transcripts of Blanche's interview with Maxwell, which took place over 2 days at the U.S. Attorney Office near the Federal Correction Institute in Tallahassee, Florida, where Maxwell had been serving out a 20-year prison sentence for sex trafficking, in which she didn't do, according to some conservatives. Maxwell was transferred last week without explanation to a new minimum security women's federal prison camp in Texas. Why? Because minimum security has less security than a maximum security one. Or they're telling Maxwell, not directly, but, hey, we'll make it easy for you. Just don't name us. Folks, anything related by the Trump administration would almost certainly involve heavily redacting any identifying information. No duh, right? Of individuals named in the transcripts in order to protect victims. Something Bondi has stressed in public or multiple occasions. But it's not about protecting victims. They don't give a shit about the fucking victims. They care about their own fucking hide. News of Warner's dinner prompted fresh concerns from family members of one Epstein victim, Virginia Roberts Giuffre, who committed suicide earlier this year. We understand that Vice President JD Vance will hold a strategy session this evening at his residence with administration officials, Giuffre's siblings said in a statement Wednesday, stating that with Fox News Digital, quote, missing from the group is, of course, any survival of the victims' crimes of convicted perjurer and sex trafficker Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein. Their voices must be heard above all. I agree. We reiterate, Ghislaine Maxwell should have remained in a maximum security prison and does not deserve the luxuries currently afforded her. Pressure to release information has been unrelenting in weeks since July 7th, when the Justice Department said in an unsigned memo that it did not plan to release more information about the investigation. The Justice Department and FBI all said that investigators have now found a so-called client list from Epstein. Of course not. Of course not. What might, as had been suggested widely online and by some Trump officials earlier this year, because Trump has friends that are involved with this type of stuff. Asked on Fox News in February about the news that the Department of Justice released a list of Epstein clients, and when that would happen, Bondi replied, "It's sitting on my desk right now," contradicting what the Department of Justice said. There's no client list. What list? Oh, the list is on my desk right now. All these people are full of shit. And you're falling for it. Why? Are you so in tune with your politics that you're willing to forego your humanity, your morals, your ethics? White House Press Secretary Kathleen Levitt later said that Bondi has been referring more broadly to all the files related to Epstein and not a single list. Wow. What do you expect? Right? Let's be honest here. Let's be brutally honest. There's not going to be any investigation into Jeffrey Epstein or Ghislaine Maxwell, just like there's not going to be any trial for the 9/11 suspects. There's no true investigation that's involving all the evidence, right? Most of it is either destroyed or classified. Either or. There is no in between. Now, if it's destroyed, of course, we're never going to see it. But if it's classified, we might see it in 30, 40 years when everyone's dead. That's why they put him in the National Archives. That's why they signed a letter for them to be labeled as classified under national security. And then you have to go to court, and then you have to file a motion, and then a ticket of release, and then it goes to a review, and then to see what parts are classified or redacted, and blah, 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 or rejected. There's a whole review, and we haven't seen everything from JFK. It's now going on 70 years. Come on, folks. Unless there's a huge, huge outpouring, outcry of support for these release of these files, and that comes through your vote. But then again, you lose because either way, you're still not getting shit. It's time to take things back in our own hands, don't you think? Stop voting for these people. All right. Thank you very much for tuning in, folks, and see you next video. Take care.